Cheers.
Episode 2, Petainer podcast. We are in Indianapolis for Coffee Fest, Indianapolis. Saw a lot of cool stuff today. Some really nice tanks for making cold brew, syrups, flavoring. Yeah, it was a good show. Nice and busy. Bunch of seminars and workshops got going on there. So we thought, since we're at Coffee Fest, we would talk about coffee. Had a lot of guys come by the booth today, from startups to growing to national distribution. A lot of people that are right now using corny kegs.
Corny kegs, yeah. So basically, I think we saw two lots of people. We saw people who are using corny kegs for cold brew and experiencing the problems that happen with corny kegs. We'll talk about that a little later. But we're also finding people who are just would like to get their cold brew out into the marketplace, and they see one-way kegs as the way to doing that. Would you agree with that? You think that's about right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting really in this market that this is it reminds me very much of the microbrewery market when it first started. It's a very, let's say that it's, where it comes to packaging, it's quite unsophisticated. You know, these guys know how to make coffee, they make excellent coffee, but when it comes to packaging, they're really unsophisticated, and some of them don't even know how a keg works. Wouldn't you say so?
Definitely, yeah. They saw our coupler, they didn't know how that worked, they didn't, definitely a good stepping stone for these guys.
Well, what's really interesting is that at Petainer we've been dealing with some large companies, and they've got some good growth. There's no doubt about that. But there's huge growth with these small guys, where these people can. We spoke with somebody who basically had a truck, and they had no facility, brick and mortar facility. They're doing cold brew in a truck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking to expand, and maybe they're looking to expand to maybe even do the cold brew in a truck, keg it in a truck, and then send these kegs out to existing coffee houses.
Do you think he sleeps in the truck too, or?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, it's a business, so they're doing quite well. But it is interesting, and as I say, a lot of them are using corny kegs to start with, and I would think the main reason they're doing that is the same way the brewers is they're cheap, right? They're used, aren't they, in most cases?
Most of the time,
I don't think they make corny kegs anymore. If they do, most people are buying them online, probably. They're easy to deal with initially.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they are, but now that they're beginning to spread out a little bit more, the problem you have with the corny keg, it's a steel keg. It needs a lot of cleaning. It's not easy to clean. You have to really clean it over a spray ball, and then you also have to clean the two ports separately as well. And the real issue that I think that they're having is, one person said to me, cost a lot of the times is not an issue, but I want a sanitary product. And with a corny keg, you've got to wash it. You can't really sterilize it very well, if at all. And also the fact that they have to purge it to get rid of all the oxygen out and replace that with nitrogen. Where beauty of the Petainer keg, of course, it arrives sanitary, clean, purged with nitrogen, no oxygen in it, and ready to fill. Yeah. And they like that. They like the fact that some of them said, well, we do some corny kegs, but they struggle to get them back. Where with the Petainer keg, it's a one-way keg; they don't have to worry about it. But it was quite exciting. It really reminded me of the early days of microbrewing.
The early boom.
The early boom.
Yeah, the gold rush.
The gold rush. Yeah. Where everybody basically wanted to get their products out there. Beauty of the coffee business is, of course, they don't have to go through a distributor, and many of these people maybe have 20 outlets. They deliver the kegs themselves. Now, the beauty of our keg, of course, is the fact that you can actually reclaim the chimes. If you're picking them up yourself, you don't have to worry about reuse the chimes on the next keg, and really reduce the cost of production by a third by doing that. Which is great. And a lot of them were, it seemed no problem to do that. Where with the breweries, there's an issue because we have to go through distributors and stuff like that. So, and most of these people are not shipping long distances. It's all within a city, or within some suburbs, whatever. So it was quite exciting, but
people were really digging on the concept of being able to reuse their chimes. Like you said, they're managing their own fleet. So they're not going to be losing those chimes. They're going to keep them within the family and be able to reuse them.
And what did you feel when we're talking to them? Okay, and you spoke with most of the people there, but didn't you feel that they needed a little handheld?
Definitely some guidance.
Some guidance. And I think we do that, and I think with equipment, for instance. We've dealt with a lot of small coffee places. In fact, one lead that I went to visit on your behalf was just a coffee shop.
In like an office building.
In an office building. And basically wanted to produce maybe a few kegs a week to give out to breweries who they had a contact with so that they could sell their products at that brewery, and had no equipment whatsoever.
Didn't even have a coupler.
Didn't have a coupler. So we helped them out with a coupler. We helped them out with instructions how to fill it. And we're constantly developing. So actually, we've actually developed a machine now which has a pump that we can take a product like coffee from a non-pressurized tank and use that pump to put it into the keg with the correct pressure, and even count the amount of liquid that we put in. So I think that's one advantage that we have over many of our competitors, is that we will assist these people, and they need some assistance. Not that they're ignorant, it's just that they're just going into a new area.
They're new to the game.
They're new to the game. And most of them wanted nitrogenized coffee, right?
Definitely.
Right? And there was lots of people there who had systems. Of course, with nitrogenization, you can add nitrogen into the flow of the liquid going into the keg. You can actually even add nitrogen to the flow of the liquid leaving the keg. But I think there was a lot of interest in the work that we've done with actually putting the cold coffee into the keg and nitrogenizing in the keg, which gives them a cheap option of doing that without having to buy any equipment. And we proved that a little bit. We had a quick tap system there. The quick tap system, if you're unaware of it, is a real simple system. It has a little nitrogenized gas cylinder on it. Doesn't need a big hookup or whatever. And we actually dispense some coffee.
Ferris Coffee out of Michigan.
Michigan, right?
Great customer.
And it had a nice head on it. It had the good cascading as you poured it.
Pretty.
And I don't think people were being polite when they said they liked it, right? So I think it went pretty well. But it's really, I don't know, like you say, it's the Wild West, right, with these guys. And but there's a huge market out there. And the one-way keg really gives them the opportunity to expand at very little cost.
I was really happy that we had the keg filler, the AB1, in the booth, because kind of from one side of the table we had our keg with just a regular simple Sankey D filling coupler.
Right.
On the other side of our table we had your AB1 keg filler. So it goes to show, not only can we supply you with a great product, but we can give you that guidance from the beginning stages all the way to in a semi-automatic keg filler. With your growth, we're going to grow with you, and we're going to help you get there.
Exactly, and I think the fact is that we will assist them in what they're going to do. We're not going to just sell them a widget like a keg and walk away from it.
Fair enough.
Makes a difference, and they need that because, as I say, these people, they're artists. They make great coffee. I mean, the amount of choice there was unbelievable. They even had a cold brew competition there. There was like 10, when I walked past, there was 10 people dispensing cold brew, and then there was another 10 dispensing cold brew, and there was maybe some more each day, and then there's a competition to select the best cold brew. To me, coffee was just coffee.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now it's just unbelievable, and the flavourings that were there, and what's the stuff from cannabis there? The
CBD.
CBD.
Yeah,
so there was people with CBD, whatever it is, right? Put it into coffee. It's just a completely different sort of thing that I remember when I first came to this country. I always thought Americans make great coffee, Britons make great tea, but now it's like, when I first came over here, there was, Budweiser, Miller, Coors, that was it. And now you've got all these different microbrews with some really great different flavours. And this is happening now in the coffee industry, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who you can talk to about cold brew, and they understand it. You're not talking something weird to someone in the street. Oh yeah, well, I know what cold brew is. Well, you have cold brew every day, right?
Yeah, I make it at home. Yep.
Yeah, well, he has a caffeine problem, but it was pretty good. So I think it's if you ever get a chance to go to one of these coffee fests, you need to. It's interesting, and it's great to see the energy there.
Yeah, and you'll get some energy while you're there, that's for sure.
Well, if you get drink enough cold brew, you will, that's for sure. Okay.
Awesome. Well, we got 2 more days of Coffee Fest. Can't wait for 2 more days. I think Saturday is the pour over competition, and then Sunday I'm excited because they're doing an espresso
really?
competition. Espresso's my jam if it's not cold brew, so I'm pumped for that. Once again, Andy, thank you again for all your knowledge. We always appreciate you.
Right.
Thanks for hanging out in the booth today. And yeah, episodes 2 is over. We got some more stuff lined up for you guys, so stick with us.
Thank you.
Later.